I don't know what's going on. So, you can hear me, I guess. So, Amanda, I think this is where you are supposed to show your preview of the GANYC Awards. We have the 2016 GANYC Awards coming up in March 7th. At Symphony Space. So, I know this is Amanda Anderson. She is the chair of the GANYC Public Relations Committee.
Awesome. There I am. Hey, guys. All right. It's just a short little presentation. It's not like a long anything long. So in 2014, first off, who attended the award ceremony last year? Raise them high, raise them high. Who's attending this year? Who is hearing about this for the first time? Oh, okay. Hey, welcome. So we are the Guides Association of New York City, and thank you for joining us for the World Federation of Tour Guides Association International Tourist Day. What we did in the past for International, I don't know if Michael mentioned that, but what we did in the past is usually February 21st, people give tours, free tours open to the public, and we were doing that. But it's so cold, so that's why we came indoors today. We didn't actually realize that we could do presentations inside, so this is pretty awesome for us. The GANYC Apple Awards was a first ever for our association as well. Our association has been around since 1974, I believe. We are one of the oldest tour guide associations, and we never had an award ceremony. Now, there's a couple of reasons why people do award ceremonies. First off, to recognize amazing individuals who are working really hard on whatever it is that people are promoting and doing. And the other is, to bring more recognition to what we're doing. And so we wanted to have an award ceremony. And our association had never did this, and it was very, what's the word, trepidatious? But there was a few strong people who were like, no, we can do it. And a small committee was formed, and categories were created, and so for the first time in 2014, we started putting together what was the GANYC Apple Awards Committee. And one of my favorite Margaret Mead quotes that I always just love to share, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. There we go. So just there was a lot of categories that were put together, and on Monday, March 2nd at Symphony Space, we held our first ceremony. It was hosted by the off-Broadway hit, written and starring Kevin James Doyle and Olivia Petsy. It was called How to Be a New Yorker. And I don't know if any of you guys got to see that, but it was hilarious. It's so good. Kevin Doyle was also a tour guide, and that's where the idea came for that show. And it was running, I believe, for almost 4 years. And I'm just so happy that we got to work with them. They volunteered to help host our award ceremony. And so these are just some clips of some of our nominees that we put together. And let's see. And then we also last year had award presenters. And I'm going to read off just a little bit of some of our esteemed colleagues. And it was a big like Lori Cumbo, who's a New York City Council member of the 35th District. We had Ben Callows, who's also a council member, Simeon Bancroft, Executive Director of the Historic Districts Council, Sarah Henry, Deputy Director of the Museum of the City of New York. We also had Joseph Alexu, who joined us as the author of Gowanus, The Rise and Fall of Brooklyn's Curious Canal. We had Linda Tarrant Reed, who is the author of Discovering Black America and Upcoming Harlem, from Dutch suburb to Black Metropolis. Leslie Carroll, who's also an author of New York City novels. Don Spiro, publisher of the magazines Zelda and Bachelor Pad and producer of Plunket's End, and Gregory Wester, Executive Director of Open House New York. You guys might, some of you are tour guides, right? So you might recognize some of those names. And some of last year's winners were also here. New York Historical Society, Kathleen O'Connor accepted an award. We had outstanding achievement in support of New York City tourism, and the winner of that was Justin Ferrati. I don't know if any of you guys know that name. You might sound familiar. And so, yeah, so we had some pretty amazing awards we were giving away, and this is what the GANYC Apple Award design looks like. You can see it's like taking a bite of the apple. And we gave a lifetime achievement to James Turrell because he transformed the Guggenheim Museum in 2013 into a surreal cathedral of light. And we're really excited about this upcoming Lifetime Achievement Award. If you guys haven't been receiving my press releases. This is Marjorie Elliott. As she's a writer, actress, and pianist, she creates parlor jazz concerts in her apartment. Every Sunday, you guys can sign up and you can go and you can hear it. In Sugar Hill, Harlem. Who's gone to one of her concerts? Oh, that's great. Well, she's definitely coming to our concert at the GANYC Apple Awards. She's so excited. We had a little bit of an interview with her that we just posted on our blog, GANYC.org/blog, and you'll see. And it's so funny. She's like, I didn't know that I got nominated for anything. I have to get a dress. But she's definitely excited about it. And we're also doing something different this year because, as every award ceremony is, we always have like those first 5 to 10 categories, and every year it's like, well, maybe we should put something else in there. And so we actually have another, my picture didn't show up. We actually have another first ever, which is going to be called the Guiding Spirit Award, because we are tour guides and we want to reflect our thanks to other tour guides who are donating their time, contributing to generously to the professional community of tour guides. And the person that will be receiving this award, he's not here, right? No, he's not here. His name is Lee Gelber. Some of you might know him. He might sound familiar. We hope it does, but that is his nickname is the Dean of Tour Guides, and we are so excited. Boy, it was funny telling him, we have on the awards committee, he knows everybody, and it was just really interesting when we sat him down and we're like, by the way, you can't be a presenter this year, you're going to be receiving an award. And it was like, me? Oh, it was so cute. But yeah, so if you're interested in purchasing tickets for the upcoming GANYC Apple Awards, it's super easy. You actually can go to Symphony Space's website. Monday, March 7th is the day. Tickets are, I believe, $60. And I think we only have like about 20 tickets left. So if you want to come, hurry up and get them. We're going to have a really, really good time. I have a little video clip of what happened last year, which I'll share with you. Okay.
for the award. Victoria Thompson, she writes these mysteries set in the gaslight era of New York City. They're so much fun. I found her on Facebook. I said, oh my God, you're not with me. She's like, who's this? I was just so excited about it because I love her books so much. I'm going to suggest we don't have a lot more right now, but everybody's been sitting for a while. If you want to stand up for a minute and like shake out, just so that you're not kind of like feeling numb from the waist down. You know? It's the opposite of being on a walking tour when you're standing on your feet too long. You suddenly say, oh, my feet, I got to sit down. Now you can't stand up from it. You know, so we are going to be getting close to the drawing. Don't leave. Yeah, don't leave. Those figures we're going to be doing that really shortly. I am going to take a couple of minutes though because I want to talk a little bit more to you right now, just about being a tourist guide. How many people in here are not guides at all? Anybody here is not a guide? Okay, we've got quite a few. Well, welcome to our little world. We're glad you're here. And we're thrilled that you took the time out to spend some time to learn a little bit more about International Tourist Guide Day and what it is we do, you know. And it's really interesting. I mean, Ibrahim early on gave us a lot of amazing information about what happens in tourism, about the industry, you know. And right here in America, according to the U.S. Travel Association, the travel industry generates $2.1 trillion in economic output. $2.1 trillion, and about just short of $1 trillion, about 927 billion or so is direct spending in tourism in this country. It supports 15 million jobs. And in New York City, of course, the figure that I got from the U.S. Travel Association was somewhere around 14 billion or so in direct spending here in New York in terms of tourism. And one of the more interesting things about being a guide, you know, people think of guides as, oh, we're not very important. We just stand and point at a building and tell somebody what the name is or what the date was or whatever. But really, guides are right in the center of the economic impact of tourism, because if you add up the money that's spent on sightseeing in areas that guides work, it's more than 25% of the direct spending. So in New York City, that's a huge chunk of money that we are connected to. And so that, you know, guides, as Ibrahim said earlier, are ambassadors to the city. We are the face of the person. We spend time with visitors to the city, even if it's just a walking tour. We spend a very unique experience with these people, and it's more personal, it's more intimate than anything we're going to get from the hotel desk or the waiter, the waitress in the restaurant. They're going to get it's what the guide makes you feel. The guide can show you the city, can show you the taste of the city. I always remember this experience. I had a family from Australia, and they wanted to go to Chinatown. We got to Chinatown, and the father did not like Chinatown at all. And luckily, right across the street, we had Little Italy, and it was doing San Gennaro. I said, let's go over there for a minute. And we walked right by there. First, the most wonderful thing is that a fight broke out, and all the Italian men on the street with some widow up in the building, they were screaming at each other, which was one was like, couldn't time it better. But then there was a stand right there, they were selling the Zeppelis, and I said, oh my God, they've got Zeppelis. The Australian said, what are Zeppelis? He said, you've never had a Zeppeli? So I bought a bag of Zeppelis for them. That's all they could talk about. It was this incredible experience that they never would have found if they hadn't had a guide. They were using a canned tour, they probably would have missed the whole experience. So we do something very unique, we bring a very unique experience to the table for people. Now, why be a guide? Right? Why be a guide? Well, if you think it's just a quick way to make some easy cash, forget it, you're going to be really miserable if you're a guide, if that's the reason. You can make money at it as a guide. Many of our members, including myself, we do this full time. This is a full-time career for us. This is how we earn our living. We get to live in this incredible city while doing that. But to be a guide, it's just in a city this large, this diverse, it's possible to be a full-time guide. But you have to commit to finding the work. There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of different ways of being a guide. But the best thing you get about being a guide, to me, is that every day when I go out to work, I see this city through the eyes of people who are here for the first time. I get to rediscover this beautiful, beautiful city every time I go out on a tour. Yesterday I was on a boat. I did a tour, I did 5 harbor tours, 1-hour tours. 5 times I saw the Statue of Liberty. And never once was I not impressed. Because everyone on the boat, this was the first time, people were weeping when they saw this. It's amazing that I get to bring this to people every single day. And I get paid to do it. It's a remarkable way to earn a living. And there are lots of different ways you can be a guide. You can be an international guide. There are guides that do more than just lead people around. There are some guides that take groups over to Europe or other places. They're more tour directors sometimes or escorts, but very often they're guides as well. There's also over-the-road guides, which go on the bus and take groups out across the country. And you have, of course, local guides, which a lot of us do, and there's a lot of ways you can work as a guide. You work on a double-decker bus. That's kind of like an entry-level position for a lot of guides. Well, first you have to get your license. You got to go down to the DCA and get your license, and then you can be a guide on a bus. And the great thing about entry-level jobs like a bus is that you don't have to figure out how to do the tour. I mean, the license tells you that you know a certain amount of information. It doesn't tell you how to do a tour. That's the skill you have to develop. And so when you work on a bus, the bus companies usually have a predetermined route, already picked out. They have the uptown loop, the downtown loop, the Brooklyn loop, the night loop, and they also have specific sites that you're supposed to talk about that are featured on in the advertising. See the Empire State Building at night, see whatever. And they give you, very often give you a script to follow that will help you get your act together. Some of them are a little loose with scripts. Same with walking companies. A lot of walking companies will give you a script with designated things you're supposed to talk about. And it's a great way to get your feet wet, but by all means, what you should be doing if you want to be a guide is taking other guides' tours, learning more, buying every new book that comes out about New York by me, the stack of books I wrote. A lot of them still as a guide, and what great way to develop your skills as a guide, of course, is to be a member of GANYC, And I've been a member of GANYC for about 7 years, just about the same amount of time I've been professional. I became a guide like many people by accident almost. I fell into this. What happened really is that my spouse had a party planning, event design company, a catering company, and there was a client that wanted to do something special for a location like here in New York City. We thought we could give them a tour. We could hire a bus for all their guests and take them around. And I found out I needed a license to do that. So I got the license. Well, that tour fell through, but I had this license, and we thought at first we'd just offer this to the party people that my spouse was working for. But then I thought maybe I should make some money on this, on the side. And so I went on TripAdvisor, and I started looking up New York attractions, and people post reviews. And I started reading about the different companies, and I sent them an email. I said, I've got a license. Do you need a guide? I've got a license. Do you need a guide? Finally, one company said, yeah, we need a guide. I was so lucky because I was so good at all this. I really didn't know how to put a tour together. And they wanted me to get a tour of the Broadway Theater District. I said, thank God, because I grew up in the theater and I know so much about it already. It was so easy. But then they pushed me into doing other tours for them. And the tour they really insisted on me doing was a tour of the 9/11 area. And they didn't want to go down there. And I said, no, we don't want to be part of this, I don't know why I didn't want to see it. And finally, my spouse in his wisdom said, if you were a guide in Europe, you'd be giving tours of World War II areas. This is the same thing. It's your history. If you don't tell it, who does? People on the tour started writing reviews on TripAdvisor. And that gave me a further way into this business. And so I could go out to other countries and say, look, I've got these tours on TripAdvisor. Look, unexpected career out of this. That's turned into a full-time job. And so, if you want to be a guide, I would encourage anybody who wants to be a guide, because you know what? Last year we got a little less than 60 million people in New York City. The numbers are not official yet, but that came out about a month ago. This number that they were talking about, and so that's a lot of work out there. There's a lot of visitors out there. I mean, here in GANYC, we're committed to the idea that when people meet a guide and experience New York City, that they get an experience that they'll remember. They'll get an experience that is entertaining and memorable and informative. competitive. We want our guides to be the best in the world, you know. And so we create training programs. We have professional development programs for our members. We offer tours of unusual places. Some of our members have incredible access to things, and they can share them with us, and we get to go to these incredible places. We have wonderful partnerships with places like the New York Historical Society, and they let us come here and do programs, and they also host us at other times as well for things. It's just wonderful. These are all benefits you can get as a guide. But the biggest benefit, I think, to me, for any of you as a guide, if you want to be a guide, is discovering your hometown in a completely new way every single time you go to work. And when you go to work, you know what? You're on vacation. You're doing the same thing these visitors are doing when they come here. You're seeing these great sights, and you're enjoying it with them as well. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, does anyone have any questions about anything today, whether it's something that we saw on the other presentations, because all our speakers, I believe, are still here, except for Harvey. I just want to see if anybody has any questions before we get to the moment you've all been waiting for. And that is going to be the drawing for the free tours. That's one of the members I've done in. So, okay, so we're going to invite our three board members up. We have Ed Mayer, we have Bob Moore, we have Nina Mendez, and we're going to go around. We'll have time for more.
Hi everybody, I'm Andrea Coyle, this is Nina Mendez, and Bob Gelber. We're on the board of the Guys Association of New York City, and Nina is also chair of our education committee, and Bob and I are also board members of the education committee as well. Now, some of you came in late, and you did not have the opportunity to put your raffle ticket into a bag of your choice. First of all, raise your hand if you did not get a raffle ticket. This is only open to non-GANYC members and the general public. So raise your hand. You didn't get your ticket? Okay, so Bob is going to give you a ticket. Just hold on to one ticket.